Let's talk about three commonly associated words with startups. One is innovation, two is scalability, and three is lean operations. Now, what does this functionally mean? Well, these are three of the most critical characteristics to have in order to make sure that you have a startup that's worth scaling, that's worth investing in, that's worth committing all this time, energy, money, resources to. So let's go through them one by one. So innovation or disruption, you'll often hear, which is effectively disruption is innovating and upsetting the market or changing the status quo at scale. You can't be a disruptor in a very small way. You have to be a disruptor at scale because that's what you're doing. You're disrupting the market. So what does that fundamentally mean? It means that you're upgrading things, you're innovating, you're taking the status quo, whether there isn't a solution and you're creating one, or you're looking at the status of current solutions and then you're upgrading them to allow for new features, new functionality, better user interface, better overall experience, whatever it might be that takes it from where it is to a future state that's worth either switching to or worth trying out if you've never used a solution to solve X, Y, and Z problem before. Is your solution innovative enough? Does it approach the problem in a new, unique, or minimum functional way to solve it in that way? And if so, you're on the right track. Next is scalability. You're going to hear the word scale or scalability or growth or any of these types of things 1,000 times when it comes to startups because we are not playing this game to deal with small numbers. We are playing for growth. We are playing for very, very aggressive growth charts. We're talking 10, 20, 30, 40% growth month on month, 100, 200, 300% plus growth year on year, really making sure that we're driving this business in the right direction. And the only way that we can do that and still make some profit, still have some, revenue and some growth to actually capitalize on is to make sure that it's scalable. And what scale effectively means is that A, we can actually push the product or push the solution to many people easily or at least efficiently. If it is really difficult to add one more customer, to add 10 more customers, to add 1,000 more customers, that's not scalable. The more easy, and it's not that it's perfectly easy, but if it can be, if you can push out to 1 to 10 to 100, you can sell 1,000 units and 10,000 units. You can have 500 people on a subscription platform or 5,000. Now, obviously, as you start adding zeros to that, you start getting into technical questions of infrastructure and how many users can be supported and all of these more technical architecture driven things. But fundamentally, that all plays into scale as well. Is there demand? Is there function? Is the tech enabling the scale? All of these critical things that are, of course, necessary when it comes to the startup archetype. Last but not least is lean operations. Similar to scale, it comes from we can't be scaling something that's really expensive and really not profitable to actually grow. We need to have the ability to scale, to move products, to change direction, to pivot from one end user to a slightly different, to pivot a message from one way to another. Part of that operational flexibility, that willingness to adjust and adapt and move in the direction that is worth moving towards. That is a very critical aspect of being a founder and, of course, managing your startup in a successful way. So hopefully when you look at these three characteristics of innovation and scalability and all the requirements around lean operations, you get a sense of what a successful startup looks like, how it functions, how it adds value, what its goals are, and what it does on the day to day.